authenticity is just gold, man. And you can't get anything better than that. If people don't take to that, then that's their problem, not your problem.
Welcome to Platform Z, or Z, whichever you prefer. Join me, Noah Lennon, as I speak with my generation about a range of topics and themes in the present day. Good tidings to you all. It's the festive season. Thank you for tuning in to the 16th episode of the podcast. Today I'm joined by an up-and-coming Hackney star. He's a talented actor, musician, and model. He's a graduate from the Brit School, a National Youth Theatre member, and has just entered his final year at Mount View Academy of Theatre Arts on the Acting BA course. He raps, he plays the piano, he plays the drums, and even some guitar. This year, he released his debut single, Rings, on all platforms under the stage name DDONEIT, which I'm so happy about because I've been asking for it since he performed it at my Peckham audio show back in April 2024. I'm very grateful to call him a good friend of mine, and I cannot wait to see what the future has in store for him. He's a resolute, collected, and thoughtful soul. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dia Peters.
Hey, come on, man. Thank you very much for having me, my boy Noah, man. Really appreciate being on the platform. Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, my name is DR Peters Rings, out now on all platforms right now. Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. That was very heartwarming, actually, for real. But yeah, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, things are good. You know, we're getting to that time of year, starting to relax. Hopefully, end of term, need that break. Yeah, man. How are you?
Christmas period, man. Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. Not too bad. I'm just finishing my final weeks at Mount View for the Christmas break, which is good. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep cool, calm, and collected. I've got a few projects going on outside of drama school. That's pretty much me right now, pretty much me.
As you may have seen from the title, today's episode is on code switching. Now, some of you may have heard this term, or you may not have. For those who are less familiar with it, would you care to explain it, Dia, to the listeners?
Yeah, so to put it short, code switching is basically changing how you speak depending on the environment you're in. For example, a black man that works in an office job, he might speak like slang and all that when he's with his brethren, but then when he's at the office, he might speak like formal Englishman, even though that's not how he was grown up to speak. I just wanted to talk about it today because I feel like it's impacted my life in quite a funny way. Like being an actor, it's not like you're always code switching, but then you kind of are. It's not even like you mean to do it. People might do that to make other people comfortable, innit? Especially in environments like uni or where you're the only, for me personally, like when you're the only black person, it can be difficult sometimes, and it can be like an out instead of just being yourself. I found that code switching, it can kind of be a hindrance to personal growth. For me personally, sometimes I would change how I'm communicating with people outside of my initial circle, but then they wouldn't really understand who I am as a person. They wouldn't really get the full picture of me, which can then lead them to not understanding where I'm coming from for certain situations, if that makes sense.
At the beginning there, Dia, you mentioned it being about speaking, but actually, have you felt it's a behavior thing too, where when you're in certain environments, you're switching your demeanor in terms of how you bring yourself into a room? Is that also another aspect to it, potentially?
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel like sometimes to some extent. But then that's the thing with code switching, there's positives and negatives. Everyone kind of code switches anyway. You're not going to talk to your mom the same way you talk to your friend, your best friend, or the same way you talk to someone at the supermarket, or do you know what I'm saying? Or someone at Tesco. Do you know what I mean? I'm still figuring it out myself, and look, I'm 20 in it. I'm just growing up. I don't have all the answers.
For me, I don't know about you, Dia, but growing up, it was always a thing where being two-faced was very negative, and people would use this term oh, you're two-faced, because
you act this way around certain people, but then you're acting another way around these people. I feel there's a big difference between being two-faced and then code switching. Two-faced is sort of manipulative to get something from someone. But like you said, code switching is something that you do every day on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's my whole thing about code switching. Like, the question really is up in the air. Like, is it like a good thing or a bad thing? I actually don't know. In some instances, it could be seen as like a manipulative thing that people do. And it's like, oh, you're not really being yourself. But then it's also like another instance, like, oh, I'm just protecting myself and who I am. Be yourself on one hand. It's such a tough balance to get, you know? As an actor, you know, you're always trying to be your most authentic self, and you're always trying to be vulnerable and present a sense of vulnerability. But sometimes, like, that's just a hard thing to do. There's just parts of yourself sometimes you're not fully ready to delve into, I guess, or to show people. Yeah, I don't know, but I guess it reflects my own life, and that like sometimes I don't know how far I'm gonna like let you into my life. I don't know if I'm ready for that, I guess. But let me just say what, like, in general,
Yeah.
though, I do promote like everyone to just be themselves, no matter who you are, no matter who you come from. Authenticity is just gold, man, and you can't get anything better than that. If people don't take to that, then that's their problem, not your problem.
That's a wonderful way to put it. On that note of authenticity, there's a perception of what people think you're doing and who people think you are compared to who you think you are. If I lived my life by how other people viewed me, I don't know, I would be in a very different place. Only we know ourselves truly. Every day we are different. Every day we have a different energy. Every day we feel different things. And every moment, like things are constantly switching chemically and externally in our day. I don't think there is one version of me personally that I'm always going to present every day. And also, I feel like my energy just shifts around different people.
In acting, we always talk about having a one-dimensional character. You don't want your character to be one-dimensional. You want your character to have multiple emotions, to be feeling, have some meat on their bones. Do you know what I mean? And as a person, you're not just gonna be one way all the time. And that's why, going back to code switching, what really is your authentic self sometimes?
As a young black man coming from where you come from, and of course being in drama school in an environment, in a class where you're the only black identifying male, how does that feel now coming into this industry, this acting industry?
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. I feel like over the past 3 years, being the only black person, the only black guy from where I'm from in my year, it's given me time to just like learn about myself, learn who I really am, learn the person that I really am, and the person that I want to be as well. Because there's so many different cultures around, you kind of forget that you're all different, I guess, in some weird way. But then when you're the odd one out, it's kind of hard to forget about that. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing or anything. I feel like it's given me a chance to just learn about people, learn about myself. It's definitely just made me more rooted. It's made me more rooted in who I am. I think that's what it is, if I was to describe it in one word.
I commend you. That's beautiful. I want to ask you, Dia, about your message. We touched on it earlier about always being authentic. What would you say to a young person that is struggling with code switching, that feels that it's a constant part of their life, but they don't know how to navigate it? What would your advice be to those people?
In all honesty, I don't have all the answers, but my advice, just be yourself, you know? Please just be yourself, innit? It's only going to be harder if people don't know who you are and what you stand for and what your beliefs are. And when people understand who you are at the core, then it's easier just to be yourself and to trust in things that you're doing. I'd always say just, you know, have faith in God. That's one thing that's really brought me through a lot. That's a big part of who I am, you know. Like whatever that is for you and whatever is at your center and at the core of you, just coming back to that and knowing that it's all right to present that to the world and to the people around you and not being frightened of the repercussions. Yeah, I think that's my My advice.
I loved all of those points. I want to say what I'm learning now is people are really like books. For me, if I'm getting to know a new person, it will take me months and months and months to get to know that person. I think also be wary and be conscious of your own perception of somebody else, because
Yeah,
who
no,
you
100%.
think they are is not fair to them in terms of who they think they are necessarily. All of your perceptions, assumptions, they need to be kept to yourself in a way. And it's like it
Yeah.
goes back to that thing of just there's no reason why anyone should be treated differently because of what you think about them.
No, 100%. And even that, like going back to like code switching, people will code switch based on their perception of someone. And then you think like that's what you should be presenting to that person. But it's just like, what? Who even made up the rules? Man, everyone just needs to be themselves for real, man.
Moving on to the Platform Z quickfire questions. Are you ready,
Mhm.
dear?
Platform Z. Let's go. Yeah, chat to me.
What was the most recent thing that inspired you?
Most recent thing that inspired me. Yeah, I saw my boy who I started acting with do his first third year show at drama school, his first graduate show. Like I started acting like 6, 7 years ago in secondary school. We were in like the same class, and yeah, just mad to see how much he's grown in the past 6, 7 years. Like it was just such a beautiful thing for real.
What is your goal for this month?
To take it easy on myself, and not put too much pressure.
What's one bad habit that you need to get rid of?
Let things like fester sometimes rather than letting things go. Yeah, need to definitely cut that for real.
What does joy look like to you?
Joy, it looks like a beautiful big smile with proper teeth, just all white, and that for me it looks like the islands. It looks like a beach, sunny island. Can't lie. Oh my days, I need to get to the Caribbean, bro. Telling you, um, looks like everyone laughing, man. You know, just having a good time in it, enjoying company. Yeah, man.
When have you felt the most love?
This is recently, though, innit? For me, this is kind of recent still. Everyone that came to see my first graduate show, that was mad love that I just didn't expect. Like people came out that I didn't even know were gonna come out, and it was just nuts. Big up Noah, by the way. Noah pulled up. Just to let you guys know, that's my G, that's my dad. On one of the days, one of my aunts pulled up, but like I hadn't realized that for these past 6 years, she's never actually seen me act. And then yeah, like when I came out, like she was like bursting into tears, and she was like, "Yeah, you've grown so much," all of that. And I was like, "What?" I don't know. I just didn't expect it. Like it was a surreal experience, and I was just like, I don't know. Yeah, it just made me feel really warm. Probably the best feeling I've had this year.
That's marvelous. What's the
Yeah, man.
one thing you'd change in today's society?
One thing I change in today's society. Oh, as a musician, I wish that it would be a law for everyone to like learn a musical instrument. It's just a cool thing to do. And when you play music, it feels like you can speak a whole nother language without having to speak, which I just think is beautiful. And I wish like everyone could have that experience. What about you?
Great.
What would you change about society?
I've said this a couple times maybe on here, but I'm not sure if I even kept them in the episode. Let me think. Oh, it does keep changing. That's the thing. Right now, I would say slowing down is a big one for me. Everyone's slowing down. I come from a very fast culture where everything is very fast and people are very fast in the way that they think and operate. And just in this world of machines and tech and Google, everything is right there at your fingertips. But actually, I love putting in the work and I love being able to take a long walk, put a lot into something over time. Always for me, the best things I make, I've had the idea for a while and then I've over time developed it and finally come to the conclusion that it's good enough to be put out essentially, or whatever I do with it. But I definitely feel slowing down, even just physically in terms of walking and whatever, and looking at the sky and looking at everyone else. That's a big one for me, slowing down.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Just taking time to take in life, you know, and live.
You said it.
Definitely agree with that.
That's the end of another episode. Thank you so much, Dia, for coming on. Please take a moment now to tell the listeners where they can find you, what you've got going on, what you've got coming up.
Man, Stream Rings by DDONEIT out on all platforms. That's DDONEIT on all platforms. We're going to have some projects coming out soon. Yeah, going to have some projects coming out soon, man. Big up platforms there every time. You know what it is? Big up Noah one time and every time. And for the rest of the, you know what I'm saying? And for the rest of the time. Come on, that's my boy. No, thank you for having me for real, though. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to bring me on.
No, thank you, because I was really looking forward to this episode, and it was pending. So I'm glad that we tied the knot. We got it done before the end of the year. So everything will be linked in the description as well. Everyone tap in with Dia. This guy is very special. There's big things coming, no doubt.
Yeah, Instagram is at 5DDONEIT as well. At 5DDONEIT. Boom, hit me up.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Man. Take care.
You lot take care, man. Have a lovely Christmas break or whatever time. A lovely New Year and all that, man. Respect to all you.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.